Welcome friends, it is I, your host Scarf, and it's time for our newest god, and it is the Death Scythe, piloted by Duo Maxwell from Gundam Wing. Look at this guy! Tell me he doesn't look like that. And if you're too young to know what Gundam Wing is, look it up for 2 seconds. It is the coolest looking Gundam of them all. And there he is, the Thanatos representation of death, with his Death Scythe right there, and his first skill is called Death Scythe. Pretty demonic looking guy right there with those horns on his back. He also looks like Kronos has influenced him a little bit in his look. And he's just pretty damn cool, look at that. Just stroking his scythe. So there's quite a few things to talk about in the patch. A lot of god changes, a lot of active changes, quite a few skins, some new changes to the queue, all of these things. So it's going to be a bit of a patch. And if you don't want to look at any bit of the patch, you can go ahead and click one of the buttons that should be in the corner that will let you skip to the combat. So let's get into it. Alright, let's take a look at this. Bam! There he is. Thanatos, the face of death itself. And he can't wait to kill himself some gods. So there's Thanatos, and then over here we got Hi-Rez with the Nightmare. Oh yeah. Now here's my opinion. He looks pretty cool, just not cool enough, I feel. He looks like Mage Shredder. Anyone else? Anyone else see Mage Shredder and then besides me? That's what he looks like to me. I like him, but I feel like I could like him more. There's just something a little more oomph he could have. And let's check out some skins over here. Here's Thanatos' alternate skin. Right here. There we go. That feels way more Kronos-y right there, doesn't it? Besides that, we have a couple of gold skins, and the first gold skin we want to look at is Hercules. Look at this guy right here. Bam! Gold skin. And, I don't know. I think that facial hair kind of messes with his face a little bit with the gold there. It looks alright, looks alright. I feel like his hammer should be blue, though. Just this big blue-ass hammer. Just beating you with it. Not hammer, I mean club. And then there's black one. It's a black Herc. There it is. Not bad looking, looks alright. Then we got, where is it? Bastet. There it is. Golden Bastet. There we go. Bam, there you go. Now, it's a little odd right here on the face, just because, you know, she got a couple of shades here. She's got a couple of shades here for definition, but in just full-on gold, she doesn't have it. So it looks a bit odd. A little, I don't know. It's a little too smooth, but she looks alright here. Looks pretty cool there. Then she's the dominatrix, so there you go. You got your leather. You got your leather Bastet right there. There you go. And now Changa Gold is finally here. Here she is. Look at this Changa. Looks pretty cool there. And she's got her bunny. Look at his little saddle. He's got a little saddle. Isn't that nice? He's got a little saddle right there. Didn't notice it in the regular skin. Although it is there. It is right there. But right here, he's got himself a little saddle. Isn't that something? And then you got also the black one right there. Nice, more refined looking dress with black there. More regal, I guess, because black is a regal color with gold. So there you go. He's just got this little saddle. Who can ride him? Probably Mini Bakasura. And you know, we got these ones. And I wish I could show off the Mini Bakasuras, but we will in a future video. Because now his alt makes Mini Bakas, which is awesome. Alright, let's look at some voice packs. So here's Thanatos' voice pack.
Retreat middle lane.
Interesting.
I'm the best around.
Interesting.
I'm returning left lane.
Alright.
You're killing it.
Okay.
I'm returning middle lane. High.
Oh, wow.
Enemy missing right. Gank.
Oh, man, you do not want this guy behind you when he's talking. Like, you just have a bad feeling. Okay. So they did a good job making him kind of scary, creepy. That works out. There you go, Thanatos. There's 2 other voice packs, and they are, I believe it's Ra and Vamana. Let's check out Ra. Ra, baby. Get the blue one, because that's what you should be.
Enemies at the fire giant.
Interesting.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll defend middle lane.
Yeah.
I'll attack middle lane. I'm going for jungle buff.
I both like and don't like it.
Defend middle lane.
I don't know.
Enemies in the right lane. Oops.
Oops.
Enemy missing.
Okay.
Enemies at our Minotaur. Chase the enemy. I'm on it.
I both like and don't like it a little bit. Just something feels a little bit off, but I do like it for the most part, I think. Now we got Vamana, and I hope there's a little Mana version in the future someday, or if there is one. Is there one?
Enemies have returned!
No, it's just Vamana.
I'll defend the fire giant. Good game.
Good game.
On my way. Gank! Retreat middle lane! I'll defend the fire giant. Attack the Minotaur!
I think it sounds pretty good for Vamana. Represents it pretty well.
I'll attack left lane. Defend left lane.
Yes, I think so.
Enemies incoming left. Enemies have returned to base.
quick check. Can you hear Hebrew if you have it like this? Let me see.
I will defend.
No, you
I
can't.
will
Okay.
attack middle
I wanted to
lane.
know, because in matches you have Hebrew's voice back, but okay. It'd be interesting if you can have a little mana, but I have no idea. I think that's everything for the skins and such. So now it's just other notes, which is like this. It's not this one. Here it is. So we have a new mode. Conquest Solo Master. We no longer have rank. This is the new rank. The top 200 are based on Solo Master. Right here. So we'll probably check out this mode sometimes. Just because of the fact that, well, we should see higher level play. You wish, and there's a reason why you might not see higher level play anyway, because let's go over here. So here's my mastery. If you didn't notice, I had 8, like it says right here, but now I have 41 mastery, because, well, you just need 50 worshippers to be counted. Oh no, you don't need 50. You need 10 worshippers, at least 10 worshippers to be counted as having mastery. So, because of at least 10 worshippers, I have mastered 41 gods. The only one I don't have is Thanatos right now. And you only need, what the hell? This is weird. They put them in weird areas. So you need only 50 worshippers on a god to be able to play them in Solo Conquest Master. The way this works is you need at least 12 gods at Mastery, so we got that for sure. And you can only play with those gods you have at Mastery. You have to have at least 50 worshippers in that god to be able to play them in Solo Master, and then there you go. So you would assume people would do better because of that, but you only have to win like a couple games with a god to be able to play them in Solo Conquest Master. So I don't know if this is actually the right way to do it, but now it doesn't matter what level you are. No, you still have to be level 30. Okay, that's good. At least you have to be that. But you need 50 worshippers, and then you can only pick those people you have 50 worshippers with. The nice thing about this mode, though, is you get 20% extra worshippers from this mode. So you get more for it. So if you want to get those black skins, this is the mode to do. And you would assume higher level play just because everyone's playing Mastery gods. But it's not hard to get the Mastery. So there's still a lot of room for trolling and such. So I don't know what I think, but there you go. This replaced rank, there you go. Another thing is the regions are now locked. They feel they have enough players for it. So North America, we're not going to see me in EU anymore. And EU, they're not going to see us in America anymore. Unless you just click around, which may happen. But of course, when there's a lower population during, like if you play at midnight or something in your America, then you're going to get probably some low-level people just because there's not a lot of people doing the matchmaker at that moment. So there's a give and take to these different ways of doing things. So just got to see how that goes. See if there's anything else to talk about before the next one. Oh yeah, defining the worshippers. So you get Acolyte for 10 worshippers, Neophyte for 25 worshippers, and 50 worshippers gets you Adept, which you need for the competitive play. Any more changes here? Yeah, the top 200 is based on Conquest Solo Master. Oh, right. New caps. Okay, so cooldown reduction has been increased to the cap of 40%. So there's that. So you see right here, it's let's see, cooldown, yeah, 40% now. The cap on criticals is now 100. Not a lot of guys can pull that off, by the way. Artemis might be the only one I think can pull it off. And then there is Lifesteal, which is up to 100 as well. So you get everything you hit back if you can max that out, which you can build for. I don't know if you can get that with anyone besides Kali and maybe just Kali, I think. And then Anubis and Frey have their own versions of Lifesteal, so I don't know about those. But there you go. These are the new caps that have happened, and we'll see how that works out for things. Because now, if you have Rage, and you got Artemis' passive, and just a bunch of other crits, you would cap out before you should actually cap out. So now we got 100 for that. And we'll see how that goes. I don't know how much that will really change things. Also, god classifications are now Hunter, Assassin, Warrior, Tank, Mage, and Support. They did a couple graphical fixes here and there. Oh, one big one before we talk about it later. You can now sell actives at the fountain if you bought them and haven't left yet. So if you bought an active you didn't like, or on accident, you can sell it now. So that helps, because it really does suck when you accidentally buy the wrong active. Well, that's enough about that. Let's move on to talking about item changes. Alright, first up we're going to talk about consumables. So, Ward has gone from purple to blue, that's it. Sentry Ward has gone from green to purple, and there's some changes to it. It used to have 85 feet on its range, now it's only 60 feet. But its lifetime has gone from 90 seconds to 3 minutes. That is huge. That's doubling its lifetime. And also it's worth a lot more gold to buy. So that's very reflective of it. So there you go. If you want to make the investment, there you go. Teleport 200. That's the change to it. They just made it worth even more to use. And then there's a lot of active changes. First up is Aegis. Aegis got its cooldown reduced to 180, 150, and 120 from 240, 180, and 120. So these first ones got reduced, so that's helpful there. Meditation got a new picture there. Scary as hell, just like the others. Well, just like this one. They're both kind of scary to me. These look okay. These are scary. Another change is that Blink got a new thing here. And also they fixed a bug where these were not doing the correct cooldowns on the combat timer. So there's that got fixed. Creep and Curse now has a new animation. Also, it reduces healing by 100%. So nice on that. The big changes are to Girdle and Eye of Providence. We'll go over Eye of Providence first. And that is this. Is that you can now drop a ward every 60 seconds instead of 90 seconds. The ward is now a Sentry Ward for level 2. And at the final level, your Sentry Wards ignore walls. They do not respect line of sight. They ignore walls. That is huge. You can have 3 of these at any given time as long as they're not killed. So if you use Eye of Providence, this is a big buff for you. And it might make some people want to use it just because you'll have some amazing awareness because you can see through walls now. So just hug a wall with it and then you'll see a lot of things. That is pretty useful there. That is very nice. You'll definitely see the usage of this, at least in ranked play, I believe, and tournament play. It'll be useful for that. Then finally, there is the nerf to Girdle of Might. Final levels are Girdle of Support and Girdle of Inner Power. Time hasn't changed and the penetration hasn't changed, but the power contribution has. So now you get 20% physical power and magical power buff for 5 seconds. It used to be that you would get plus 30 flat for physical and 15% magical power, 15% physical power. For magical, it was 60 magical power flat and 15 magical power. This is a nerf. If you don't understand that, the reason why it's a nerf is that extra 5%. In order to get to 30 flat extra, you would have to have 600 physical power. For magical power, you'd have to have 1200 magical power. So this is definitely a nerf. To what degree, I'm not sure. But it is significantly a nerf just because you need to have a lot of power to equal that flat that was increased. So that is a shame. I'm still going to use it, but it definitely... I'm not happy with the nerf. But maybe it's fine. Maybe that's what it needed. I don't know. I love using the girdle, but I don't really think it was that huge a thing. But that's just me. And that is all the items. So moving on to god changes, and there are a lot of them. Alright, time for the god changes, and there are a crap ton of changes. Holy crap. And I don't agree with a lot of them. First change is on her. His passive has been changed from... What it used to do is, if you hit someone with a spear, they had their physical power reduced, which means they had a harder time fighting him. Now he's just got penetration. He reduces their protection by 15, so we can hit them harder and kill them sooner. Honor is an amazing god. He's an awesome god. Mufasa is hard to deal with, and Mufasa just kicks ass. This has made him kick even more ass, and I feel like this was unneeded buff. Honor is great. I don't know why they did this to Mufasa, but Mufasa is going to just wreck even more face than he already does. So if you're a Mufasa player, you're going to kick more ass. You deal with Mufasa, it's going to have a harder time to have to deal with Honor. That's the problem there. And not a fan of that. I really like him, but not a fan of that. I feel like he did not need that. That just makes him too much stronger. But that's what they did. Ao Kuang gets a buff. Ao Kuang buff is this. His ultimate now happens 90 seconds faster. So, I said that wrong. His cooldown has been reduced by 10 seconds. So now it's 80 seconds instead of 90 seconds flat. And his ult now happens 0.2 seconds faster. Not a big change, but it is a little change there. So his ult comes out sooner, so he can try to catch people more often when they're just in front of him. He doesn't have to lead it as much. They're behind him. He has to get them a little bit behind him when he does it. And so there you go with that. His ult's been changed a little bit. It's a nice little buff there. Does it work? I don't know. Next up is Apollo, and his ultimate has gotten 10 more on per second usage. So it used to be 50, now it's 60 per second. Nothing really changed there. It'll add up, of course, but you really use your ult for like short periods anyway. So I don't know. This is not much of a nerf. His other things are pretty effective. He has so many escapes to him, and this is the nerf they give him. I don't know. Up next is Arachne, and this is the big one. This is the freaking big one right here. Arachne's early game has been nerfed to hell. And here's why. Her gank potential has also been nerfed to hell, but here's why. Her broodlings. Now, it doesn't show it, but her broodlings have an HP of 200 prior to the patch. Now, their HP is 100, 175, 250, 325, and 400. What does this mean that her eggs have less life? What this means is we can't do a double clear at the start. That's for sure. That's one. What this means is, if you did not know, you can solo the Gold Fury with her and her eggs. You don't need any help. You could solo the Gold Fury with that 200 HP per egg, because you had 10 spiders with 200 HP, which means they could last a while while they're beating the crap out of her. Now you can't do it. 100 HP ain't gonna cut it. They will die quickly. You cannot solo it. You might still be able to do it with teammates. I'm not sure. We won't know until we actually try to do it. But her eggs are just worse now. 100 HP is nothing. That is a pittance. It is going to be a lot harder to clear with her at the starting levels because of that, because they have to tank for her, and them dying sooner is not going to be good. We will no longer see the double clear by Arachne at the start. That sucks. It's going to have to be maybe putting 4 eggs on one, then 1 egg on the other, but that's actually a bad plan. You just have to focus on what you do, and just her clear is going to be a little bit worse at the start. Her eggs can't tank for her as well, and that's not good, which means Arachne takes some damage, like even more damage than she did before, which means if someone catches her in the jungle, she's screwed. While it used to be, even if you got caught in the jungle, you had a chance to fight. Now it's you're probably dead, which hurts. And that's the eggs alone. But the thing about the eggs is weakening it early and trying to make it stronger late doesn't actually do anything, because it's 400 HP. There's these little guys, they're pretty slow. You have to put them down and all this stuff to make it happen. 400 HP is nothing. That's basically minions at that point anyway. Minions die pretty fast, you know that. So these spiders don't actually mean jack shit in the late game. They don't mean a damn thing. Some random burst will kill them. It's just like killing a minion. That's what these spiders have become. Still, this doesn't give her a strong late. If you look at the numbers and go, okay, her late's better. No, it's not. It's not at all. It's actually worse. Because these spiders are nothing in the final game of this thing. They're nothing in the final minutes. All you do with them is ward with them. That's what you do. You use them as safeguards. The hope I have is, because they have 400 HP each, is maybe you can set and forget them. If they have enough HP to make them set and forget, then Arachne has a useful tool out of these eggs in the late game, because she can put them down and take a gold camp while she's doing something else. If that is doable, then this helps out. It gives her a crappier early game, but a stronger mid game. If it's not good enough to take out a camp on its own, then this is complete crap and Arachne's in trouble. That's not even all of it. Next one is Drain Life. They reduced it by 10 points on each level. So now it's 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60 instead of the old 30, 40, 50, 60, and 7. That's the old one. Her power contribution has gone up by 10%, and her healing has gone up by 5%. For healing, it's extra. You need 200 physical power to equal that 10 you lost. For her damage, you just need 100 to get that back. So that's not too bad to just get that back. But it means you need a couple items to get back what you used to have with her Drain Life, which means her early game has been nerfed on the Drain Life as well. Her late game is a little bit better though. But again, it's more she's become a mid-game god, because late game you really build Arachne more tankish than anything. So she falls off on the physical power anyway, because if you don't build her a little bit bruiser tanky, she just dies in an instant, and that makes her worthless. And then finally, to make her even more worthless, is this. They took away Cripple! Cripple is now gone on the web! There is no Cripple! There is no Cripple! We have freaking Blink now nerfed that you can cripple that damn thing, and we don't have Cripple anymore on our goddamn web. Make matters worse, how many gods have a dash, a jump, some sort of means of getting away that Cripple could do something to? How many gods? That's pretty much nearly every freaking god in the game, and now they cannot be crippled by the web, which means Arachne can no longer gank effectively. That gank is important for Arachne, it's important for teammates, and now she don't have it. You can still cocoon people after they jump, but if they jump over a wall, you got nothing. You got nothing. Let me repeat that from Untouchables. You've got nothing. Nothing. Okay, let's go down the list. How many gods can she get with that cripple? Okay, let's see here. Anubis, okay. Kind of Alquang. Artemis. Ares. I see it. Aphrodite if she doesn't do a damn alt. Now going down the list. No, they can't be crippled. Nope. They got him. He has his alt. Dash. Jump. Here you go. She can do her alt though, but here's one you can cripple. Guan Yu has a dash. Hades has a jump move. He can do his alt. You can try to get him when he's slow. Hell, you can totally get her if she doesn't do her freaking cleanse. Hercules has a dash. Helmbast has a jump. Her wings will get her out of there. Kali, you can go for her on Sepchi. You can do her alt more often. You'll see that in a second. Loki's got his alt. Yeah, cripple now works on teleports, by the way. I don't think it works on Loki's alt, though. Naya's alt. It's... half the roster is now out of your hands. You can still fight half the roster. The other half, they're gone. You got nothing you can do about them. You have no means of handling anyone who can jump away. Half the roster is someone you cannot fight. Half the roster is someone you cannot gank. Because they gotta jump. So that, she's lost her gank potential. She's lost her early game potential. All she's got is a mid game now. From on paper, what I see is a mid game. Her late game is shit. This does not change anything. She now has a mid game. So, developing Arachne, my favorite series. We're going to try to do her, at least for 2 or 3 episodes. Try to see what can we do with her. How do we change our strategies to make her effective? Can she be effective, or is she crap now? That is the question I have to ask myself. That is what I need to try to figure out. And we will see. But it's going to take us some time. And if she is no longer viable, that series will be on hold. It will be on hold. Because if Arachne's not worth it, not worth playing, then why do it? Kali was my favorite god for a long time. And then they kept nerfing her and nerfing her and nerfing her. And she's not relevant anymore now, is she? She got some buffs today. I still don't think they made her relevant. Kali is nothing, and now Arachne is looking like nothing. And I gotta find out if that is true or not, and I hope it's not. But right now, I think it is, and that is not good. But I will take the time to find out instead of just writing her off. But right now, I do not like what I see. Do not. Luckily, Baka has been buffed, and he has been patched so that he no longer has a couple bugs on him, and we'll get to him soon enough. Let's look at Artemis. Artemis has a buff. So those of you who like Artemis, Suppress the Insolent has been strengthened. The mana cost has been reduced on it from 70, 80, 90, 100, and 110 to 60, 65, 70, 75, and 80. So you can do it more often, not have to worry about running out of mana for your other things, so that's good. And now it does 50% power contribution instead of 30%, so that's nice for her. Good on her for that. That's a good buff there. Is it enough? I don't know, but that's going to hit pretty hard, so that's nice for her. Bacchus has a small buff to him. He now has more defense when he's tipsy and smashed from 5% to 7% and from 10% to 14%. So nice for Bacchus. Bacchusera buffs, here they are. So just like on her passive, Bacchusera, when he did his jump on you, if it hits you, you had less physical power. Nowadays, you have less physical protection. By 20 flat, so you only need 1 level on this unless you want to do damage with it. So that's nice. That helps out with everything else because now they have less protection. The other change is to his alt, and it's a bit mixed this and that with this. And here's the mix to it. Bacchus' alt now makes mini Bacchus. That's hilarious. That's awesome. I like that. That's cool. That is awesome. My only problem with this is now you only make melee units. You don't make ranged anymore. Only melee. So what this does is this kills your early game kill with him, because if you eat if you eat 6 ranged minions at the start and at level 5 regurgitate that, you got the kill. Because 6 minions at level 5 are OP as hell and they will get kills. So it does ruin Bacchus' early game kill potential right there with that. But maybe it'll be fine because it has cripple. Bacchus acid cripples now. Arachne's web no longer cripples, Bacchus acid cripples. You heard me right. It cripples. Can you explain this to me? I don't know. I hope it helps. The problem is Baka's acid is not very big, so it's not a very huge cripple. But if you land it just on the person, you have a chance to take them out if they have an escape. And there are a lot of gods with escapes, so we'll see how that goes. Because Baka's real problem was you could have an amazing clear, you could level up a lot, but if you can't catch 5 people with escapes, then you got nothing. Baka becomes useless. So giving him cripple helps out. Is it enough? I don't know. But we'll see in the future when we play Baka. We're definitely going to play him. And here's the coolest thing about his ult. His mini Bakas reflect whatever skin you have. So mini metal Bakas, mini feaster bunny Bakas, mini butcher, mini regular Bakas. So we're going to have Baka with 6 little bunnies around him. That is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see that. And we will see that sometime in the future for sure. Next up is Bastet. Bastet has a buff. A meaningless buff. Her cats now have physical protection. They used to be 20, physical protection flat. Now it is 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. The reason why this doesn't mean crap is because if you've played Bastet or played against her, how effective are those cats against you? Really. Her cats are easy to outrun. And that's about it. Once you get out of the range of those cats, you never get back in the range of those cats. Those cats need speed. They don't need defense. They need speed. Those cats will go down easy anyway, even with all that protection. So I don't know. This isn't even a buff. It's a buff, but it isn't. That's really what it is. Up next is, let's see here, next one is a nerf to Hades, which is a really weird nerf. They reduced each level of his Pillar of Agony by 5 flat and 5% on magical power. So it's a little nerf to him. I don't know if that's good or bad. That's a little weird. Maybe it's fine, maybe it isn't. I don't know. That's what they did. They nerfed it by 5 on everything. And I don't know. Is that big or huge? I don't know. No idea. Next up is Hunbat's. They changed his passive. Hunbat's passive is this. Now it's, after you do an ability, you have 50% critical chance to hit with it instead of just having next hit will hit with plus, I think, 15% physical power. So I don't know if this is better or worse. Someone can do the math on that with crit damage compared to physical power damage. I'm not going to do the math on it because I'm not sure what you would do for that. Well, I know what you would do, but I don't want to take time. So, if you like doing crits with Hunbats, there you go. It helps you out. If you liked more focus on physical power, maybe it won't be so helpful. I'm not sure. Definitely want to get Deathbringer on him at some point because of that, though. There you go. Now, Kali. Kali has been buffed in interesting ways. Her passive used to be, as it shows right here, because they haven't changed it yet for some reason. When you were below 25% HP, your passive would kick up to 20% for 5 seconds. Now it's at all times. So whenever you're below 25 physical health, it jumps up to 20% lifesteal, which is pretty huge with your Siphon Life, of course, and all your other damages for some HP, so that's great. So it tries to give her some late game survivability. Not late game, low life survivability, so maybe that helps. Her rage has been changed on the cooling. It used to be flat 15. Now it is 15, 14, 13, 12, and 11. Is that good or not? Well, it's of course good. Is it enough? I don't know. Then there's her ult. Her ult's cooldown goes down to 60 seconds at the last level, which means you can spam that ult every minute. Is this enough for her? I still don't know. That ult is easily ignored by a lot of people. We see me kill Kali all the time while she ults. Does this make her relevant? I say no. But does it make her better? Of course it does. Does it make her worth playing? I don't know. But we'll see in the future. We'll try some games with her and see if she's worth playing or not. Loki got a nerf, and it's only to his decoy. Now, what they did is they reduced the damage on his decoy. It used to be 90, 155, 220, 285, 350. But didn't it get buffed earlier? And now it's 75, 125, 175, 225, and 275. So what happens here is the change to his decoy makes it so that he can't solo as well as he used to. He can't do mid lane as well as he used to. And that's fine. Giving Loki the ability to hold the lane and be everywhere at the same time because he can clear a lane so quickly, it's a bit of a bad thing, I really think. And this should help out. Like, if he still wants to do solo mid, he can still do it. But he can't leave the lane as long because it's going to be harder to kill it just by a little bit. So I think this is a good nerf for him. Makes him need to play a little bit sharper, so that's fine. Naya's got a nerf that I do not agree with. This is a big nerf. This ruins Naya in a lot of ways, not just in the killing potential, and that is the ring toss no longer hits someone more than once. You hit 2 people with it, only hits them once each. That's it. Doesn't bounce anymore, doesn't do a bunch of damage. I find it's the incorrect way to nerf this. I think it should have gotten diminishing returns, so you can still use it strategically against 2 targets. Because it's smart to catch 2 people out of position together. You punish people for positioning incorrectly. That was cool strategy there. It does do a crap ton of damage, that's for sure. It does an amazing amount of damage. But it punished you for not thinking about how you should be fighting Naya. And I like things that punish people for poor gameplay, I really do. And things you have to consider when you're fighting different opponents. So, it is a damn shame that your ring toss is now only a harassing poke. That's all it is. You can also slow someone down to catch up if you need to, but it's more of a poke than anything else. And that's not all of it. No, this ring toss was huge for jungle clear. Because you could bounce around, clear cat very quickly, finish off with your flaming spear, because the first levels go in your ring toss, so you can clear things, and then you level up your flaming spear as you're starting to get items, because then you make it even faster. You can do a bunch of damage with that and just kill things quick in the jungle light. So, your early game has been nerfed. That's what I feel right here is. Early game 9 has been nerfed. Killing potential has definitely been nerfed on 2-on-1 situations. Mid game is the same as it has been. Late game, minus what happened to the ring toss. But Naya's early game has taken a hit here, especially jungle Naya. So, I don't like this, of course. I am not a fan of this. So, Naya requires a lot of skill because everything's a skill shot for Naya. Everything is a skill shot. You also gotta get close up for this. So this, I don't feel this is the correct nerf. I think giving it diminishing returns would have been a better nerf, because you still punish them for being in a bad position, but you don't hurt them as much. I think that would have been a better way to do it, but now this is what they've done, and I disagree. Up next is Odin, who got a lot of changes to him, sort of. His shout now has a cooldown of 13 to all ranks. It used to be 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, now it's just 13 to all ranks. Gungnir's Might, which is his 3, it now slows up to 50%. That is a big freaking slow. You know how slow you feel when Alcon hits you with his thing? Yeah, you got that with Odin now. Holy crap, that is a big slow. And that is, I don't know, I think that's too strong right there, but maybe it'll be fine. Now here's the one I think is too strong. Odin's ult. Now when he does his ult, everyone within his circle gets the bonuses, not just Odin. It also applies to his teammates, which is, are you kidding me? Not just, okay, only buffs their protection. So their protection is buffed in there. So what this does is, it punishes you less for just putting your teammates in your ult, and enemy Zeus does an ult, or enemy Hercules does an ult. It punishes you less for that. But it rewards you for having them all in a thing, for sticking your teammates in there with enemies, so that's cool right there. So it's give and take there. I guess it makes Odin's ult more relevant, but I don't know if that's the right way to do it. That might be too big for him, I think. But we'll see in the future how strong that makes him. Next change is Ra. They buffed and weakened him in 2 different ways. So his Solar Blessing, it no longer gives buff and debuff anymore, but it has a stronger heal by a little bit, and that stronger heal is just 5 points to all levels. And it's also increased on its healing by 5%. Ra has the best heal in the game. Making sure you know this. Ra's heal is the best one in the game. It can heal 5 people at once, give them a lot of magical power, and that thing heals everyone really strongly. You can heal, like it was, if I remember correctly, the math is over 2,000 with him, with the old one. Now with this newer one that's even stronger, he can heal even better than that. There's no longer a buff debuff, but he can now heal even stronger. So, in some ways, this is more of a rebalancing to it. He can heal better, but he doesn't have a debuff buff anymore. So there's those changes. So Rai would, of course, hang out in his healing thing while you're fighting him, and he would have an advantage because of the buff debuff. But thanks to this, now he doesn't have as much of an advantage, but he's still healing well. So we'll see what that actually does in the future. So Tyr, the only change is to his 2, and they buffed him. That's right, they buffed him. And here's what the buff is. Now he heals up to 45, 65, 85, 105, 125 per target, up to 3 targets. And the scaling is 50 from 15%. Used to be 15%, now it's 50. So now tanky Tyr is even tankier, has better lifesteal to him. There's the buff to him. It's going to be harder to kill Tyr and that's annoying as balls. Not a fan of this buff, but that's what happened. He's got buffed. And lastly is Ymir. He gets some interesting buffs to him. They're all very slight, but there's one big one. And the buffs are this. His base mod has been increased to 200 from 185. His mana per level has been increased to 32 from 30. His base physical protection has been increased to 23 from 21. Then there's his Glacial Strike. Now this is the big one. It's been put down to 8 seconds from 11 seconds. So basically, you can cast like 2 of these between times doing the Frost Breath. So what it used to be was, we'd only do this with this for the most part. But now, you can do this when this is halfway done, so that basically you can do your Glacial Strike more often. So that's pretty nice for Ymir. Nice little buff here and there. I don't think it's a huge thing, because the problem with Ymir is if you buff him too much, he becomes OP. I think these are nice little changes to him, and I think they'll work out for him. So it's a good buff for him. Oh, and lastly, because I forgot, Vulcan nerf! Or a reimagining, in a way. Now, here's what they did to Vulcan. They nerfed his burst, but they gave him stronger DPS. And what I mean by this is this, his backfire. He now does half the damage he used to do, but he's able to cast it in half the time. Because the cooldown used to be 13 seconds across the board. Now it's 9, 8, 7, 6, and 5 seconds. So now he can do it more often. The damage used to be, though, 85, 145, 205, 265, 325. So basically what they did is they just cut it in half. So his burst damage has been lessened, but his DPS has been increased because in the time to do one of those, he can do more damage with 2 of these. That's great. Problem for Vulcan is it's all about the big burst at the start, because when you think about his ult, you come in there, you drop everything, alt, backfire, you do all these things at the same damn time so that your turret does a shit ton of damage to the enemy god. Now, you can still do that, but then you gotta hang out with them for a while and then hit them again with it. But by that time, they've escaped away from your tower, so you're doing not that much damage to them. This is good for what? What is this good for? You can chase and hit them again? Yeah, sure, but you have so little damage, I don't know. For Vulcan, it was all about bursting everything and killing them with it. Make matters worse, because they've decreased the cooldown, they've gotten rid of the invincibility frames on backfire. You can no longer do your backfire to get out of some really amazingly bad situations. It was amazing show of skill to do backfire to get out of some things, and now you don't have it anymore. Now you have completely no escape or any invincibility frame for Vulcan. This is a nerf to Vulcan. Now Vulcan can only just fight lanes. He can't kill people. This is what it's done to him. This is awful. I don't like it. I don't like a lot of this patch. I hate a lot of this patch. We're going to talk about Thanatos in a second, but the only real saving grace to this whole thing that I really feel is this, and that is... Look at the little saddle on this bunny. Look at that little saddle. Isn't that cute? Just that little saddle on that bunny. That just makes my day. Also, the mini Bacchus probably will too, but... Alright, let's talk about Thanatos.